We're all about Southern Comfort classics today on Food's Greatest Hits. We've already fed on fried chicken and binged on biscuits and gravy. And now, it's time for a dessert chaser. What apple pie is to the rest of America, so this greatest hit is to the South. We're talking about fruit cobbler.
A cobbler is sort of like the more rustic version of a pie. It's like less fussy. You still get that stewed fruit filling and then that sense of pie crust, but it's kind of sort of thrown together.
The cobbler just feels so raw and authentic. The cobbler's like, look, we're working with what we've got, but I'll tell you right now, what we're working with is gonna work for you.
And you don't have to be a professional pastry chef to make a great one. You see, the cobbler relies more on taste and fresh ingredients than fancy pastry preparation. Start with the fruit. Peaches are king, but nectarines or berries will do too. Mix with some sugar, cinnamon, nutmeg, and lemon juice. Then, cover that sweet fruit with a buttery biscuit topping and bake the whole thing until it's the color of an Alabama sunset.
You know, the best part about a cobbler is there's no smoke and mirrors. You make the cobbler and you bake it. And if it comes out good, you're a star.
The cobbler is another great example of Southern ingenuity. You see, early settlers to the South didn't have stone ovens, so they adapted their traditional recipes for puddings and pies into something they could bake over an open fire. And when they noticed that the top looked like a cobblestone street, well, you can guess what they called it. Cobbler. We're talking about cobbler, remember? And it didn't take more than one bite to realize they'd come up with a classic comfort food. So we think it's high time we bring our own brand of ingenuity to this sweet Southern treat. And our first dish we made specially for the biggest feast of the year, Thanksgiving. It's the Gobbler Cobbler.
Say that 20 times really fast. Gobble, cobbler,
You can't even say it once really fast.
Gobbler, cobbler.
The filling of this cobbler is packed with sweet potatoes instead of peaches, cranberries, cinnamon, all topped with whipped cream and a sprig of thyme for that classic Thanksgiving flavor. But will this cobbler be able to stand in for classic Thanksgiving desserts?
I don't want just the crunch. There's something else under here.
The texture is just amazing and it smells delicious.
Jeez Louise, there's sweet potato in here.
Macaroni sauce.
Oh, man.
I love crumble.
I love crumble so much.
Spice to it that's so good, like a cinnamony thing.
This has like a harvest taste.
Like a Thanksgiving Day.
Like a Thanksgiving Day treat.
Totally. It's like an explosion of flavors. Oh, my.
So our first cobbler remix deserves a place on the table next to the turkey. But we can't really say we took cobbler to the next level without taking on the most classic cobbler of all, the peach cobbler. So how could we possibly elevate this iconic Southern comfort food, you ask? Well, our next dish combines the classic peach cobbler with a sweet fizzy treat.
3, 2, 1. Whoa!
It's the peach cobbler float.
Oh, I love food in a mason
It's like a little
jar.
parfait.
So I see ice cream and then peaches, and there's like a cobbler or crumb, and some blueberries also.
Ooh, it's peachy.
Ooh, that's delicious
Very
smelling.
peachy. That's nice.
It's a classic peach cobbler in ice cream float form with vanilla ice cream, peaches, blueberries, and ground up pie crust. But we're not doing all the work for them. To complete this dish, our tasters have to mix the cobbler with a homemade peach soda. So if you love cobbler and ice cream floats, well, now you can have them both in one delicious drink.
Remember what I did slowly?
Getting really excited.
Let's try this first drinking it.
Here we go.
Oh, that's good. This is the first float I've ever had.
It's got all the ingredients for a classic peach cobbler.
I've never had peach soda before, and it's delicious.
My favorite part is definitely at the bottom with all the granola goodness and the berries down there. It's just wonderful.
So a cobbler float isn't so crazy after all. But now, it's time for the grand finale. What will our tasters think of a savory take on this Southern dessert classic?
Whoa!
That's next on Food's Greatest Hits.